Hi, my name's Fred Arnold, and welcome to beautiful Southern California and the show Out of the Rough, a show that will help provide you some of the solutions to many of the challenges we all face during these tough economic times. Hi, welcome to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and in this show, we'll highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success both financially and personally. In these tough economic times, I want to bring practical solutions to you to many of life's challenges. Today, we're going to talk about real estate. And when it comes to real estate, I have two of the best experts I could possibly ask for in Southern California. Kathy Bost is an expert with Remax of Santa Clarita Valley with, I'm sorry to say, over 2 decades of an experience. A lot of it, you don't look it, and an expert, a true expert when it comes to buying and selling your home. And Bob Keller. Everybody knows Bob Keller, a good friend of mine, city councilman, 2-time mayor. You hosted a show at one point on...
We did.
Yes. And Bob, 19 years of experience and co-owner of your real estate firm. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Well, we're in the eye of the storm of what's going on in real estate, and I want to just ask, Kathy, what's happening out there with real estate? I mean, it is kind of the Wild West back, in the Santa Clarita Valley again. After 100 years, it's the Wild West again.
It's very exciting, I think, for buyers right now. It's such a great time for them to be jumping into the market, taking advantage of all the great opportunities there are for buyers, like great interest rates, low prices, it's a historical time for them to be buying right now.
Yes.
So we're seeing a lot of buyers out there.
One of the main themes that we see a lot about, Bob, is low inventories.
That's right.
When we talked last on the show about 1.5 years ago, that we had really high inventories because everyone was just testing the market and putting their houses on the market when we hit the top.
Trading
yes.
up and out of control.
Yeah, and everybody was, trying to move up. And when the market just started going down a little bit, everyone was trying to get out. But our inventories are much lower, aren't they?
Oh yes, absolutely. They're much, much lower. And there's just so much uncertainty in the market. I mean, you said it, we're the eye of the storm. These have been very difficult times, and a lot of folks are very concerned, and justifiably so, I might add. So subsequently, people are, if they're able to hang on, they're hanging on, and if they're in a situation where they've got to move on, and so be it. But these are difficult times, not only in the real estate industry, but
in
across
life.
the board.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many things to be concerned about. Your job, your 401k. 401ks were 201ks about a year ago, and they came up to 301ks. But on a daily basis, you don't know where you stand, and the consumer has not come back yet. In fact, our economy's tied 70% of it's to the consumer. But I like to look at optimism. And there's one bit of optimism we can look at, and that is you can buy a house for 50% of what it would have cost you 2 years ago.
That's just about right.
Yeah, so you're looking at unbelievable opportunities for people that want to get in the market.
If somebody is in a position financially to be able to get a loan, I can't think of a better time to go out here and get it. And I throw another factor into that, Fred, if I may. Because from my observations, and I certainly would look to Kathy's thoughts on this as well, we in the housing market, residential, seem to have turned the corner. My sales for my company are up about 100% from where they were last year. That means we have 2. No, I'm kidding. So it's more than that. But certainly it is much better, and it gives me a feeling of great optimism.
Yeah. So it's Kellar-Davis. You've really kicked it up a notch, haven't you?
We have.
Yes. That same optimism?
Yeah, I totally agree. We're seeing many more sales happening. Yes. And I think that's because the short sales are now finally beginning to close. Ones that we'd been working on last year are finally coming together.
Well, let's talk about short pays or short sales. Short pay, short sales. What is a short pay? What is a short sale for the average person that hasn't heard of that?
A short sale is when you owe more on the property than it's actually worth in today's market. That's basically what it is.
And the bank's willing to take a little bit less than what's owed.
They're willing to take a haircut, as we say, and take a little bit less than what's owed in order to get it off their books. It's just usually a better financial decision for the bank to do that.
A haircut. Sometimes they get sheared, right? Nobody seems to feel sorry for the banks because of what's been happening, but certainly the banks are taking a loss because they want to avoid the ultimate foreclosure or the fear of a foreclosure.
Correct.
But I think there's a factor that needs to be added to the discussion on that, Fred. In those situations where a bank might be willing to accept a short pay, okay, they're not going to let somebody go away and have $200,000 in a savings account somewhere.
Right.
So that seller has got to qualify for the short sale, which basically means they're going to have to be in pretty tough financial straits.
Prudent. They're going to do their due diligence to make sure it makes sense for them to actually, in fact, have that short pay.
Some kind
Exactly.
of financial hardship has to be
Correct.
involved for them to allow it.
Interest rates, they're at an all-time low in the last 60 years. And is that spurring a lot of people getting them out?
Hey, some cases we're down to 4.5,
Yes.
4.6.
Yes.
Unbelievable interest rates.
Yes, and that's one way to get out of the rough and into a home. And
Absolutely.
let's talk about the California tax credit. There's a new California tax credit here in the state of California, and it's for first-time home buyers. And it's also, so they set aside some money for first-time buyers.
Correct.
They also set aside
what?
some money for new construction, new purchasing people, previously unoccupied homes. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it just simply is another exciting opportunity for first-time home buyers to take advantage of this.
It's up to $10,000.
$10,000, and the one that the feds had, I believe that is pretty well expired
Yeah,
now.
that's
That
gone,
one's got to
yes.
be closed into June. But this is, again, it just adds to what a great opportunity it is for people to go out and buy at this time, particularly with the market seemingly, probably bottomed out in the residential.
And Kathy, a lot of people don't know about this, do they? It's just starting to come out.
Right, that's right, and it's very exciting. People are, when they do hear about it, they want to get out there and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I'll add that there's about $100 million that's been set aside for people buying their first people buying new construction, and $100 million set aside for those that are first-time home buyers.
Exactly.
We're going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about tips that buyers could use to buy a house and get out of the rough and get into your own first-time home. This is Fred Arnold. We'll be right back.